It's Ibrahim Tanner again, and today I'll be explaining down ballot and why Black America should vote Democratic down ballot in this year's 2020 presidential election. A down ticket candidate is any candidate in this year's election not running for president. Presidents will be at the top of the ticket. So down ballot means you go down the ticket. Basically what you're looking for is progressive judges, progressive DAs, things of that nature. Maybe even some like referendums, rent control, more funding for school, anything that benefits your community. Now we saying Democrat down ballot because most of these candidates is gonna be running as Democrat. Some will be running as independent. Republican, not really. We basically don't vote Republican. Only a very, very, very small percentage of Black people vote Republican. After LBJ passed civil rights legislation in the 1960s, Blacks migrated over to the Democratic Party, and that's where we've been ever since. In every election, voting at least at an 85% rate, being the Democrats' most loyal voting base. In opposition to civil rights legislation, whites have been voting Republican. So, some quick history. In Martin Luther King Jr. 1957 speech, Give Us the Ballot, he basically said, if giving Blacks the right to vote, we would no longer have to worry the federal government. We could basically vote our needs into legislation, and that policy would be voted on by men of goodwill. From the civil rights era, we got the Civil Rights Act and everything, but shortly after, President Nixon, he gets word from his advisors to scale back, right? And pretty much starts benign and neglect. And then he comes up with this black capitalism rhetoric, which appealed to not only Black separatists, but white races as well. Pretty much saying, hey, Blacks can do for self. Blacks need to focus on entrepreneurialism. We don't need big, robust government programs like the War on Poverty or reparations, right? Like, we should just be able to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. Nixon's policies of benign neglect leading into Black capitalism has been a detriment to ADOS politics ever since. And basically, every election, it kind of like rears its head, either from the left or the right. So in 2008, you get 2 million more Black voters coming out than 2004 to historically vote President Obama in. But you can see some of the Nixon rhetoric in his policies. We had community capitalism, he had enterprise zones, and niche banks. What you also see is this.
To give you anything that you have not earned. Nobody cares how tough your upbringing was. Nobody cares if you suffered some discrimination.
By the end of his presidency, what you basically see is whites' household wealth increased by $30 trillion, while Blacks' home ownership rates fall to historic lows. Benign neglect again comes up in 2016. Hillary Clinton leaked emails. You see her advising House candidates to limit the number of Black Lives Matter activists at public events and promise no policy support. And in 2020, Joe Biden's Lift Every Voice plan focuses on Black entrepreneurs, Black businesses, which is already struggling and devastated by the coronavirus. President Trump comes out with a platinum plan that's pretty much My Brother's Keeper 2.0, which I don't know how he wants to put more police in urban communities and loan us some money from private businesses. While the CDC basically took Bernie Sanders' plan, eliminated Medicare for all, eliminated student debt relief, and pretty much given us what we've already rejected. We asked for a robust Black agenda for Black America, including reparations for ADOS, which is a $14 trillion program that could be multi-generational. Nobody has responded to the call of ADOS. This year, all Black America should be voting down ballot. We should be supporting those candidates that support our community needs. Black America didn't vote Trump into office, and it's not our job to sacrifice our community needs by voting him out. White America majoritarily voted for Trump. White men and white women and Latinos voted for Trump at 29%. If these communities can get specific agendas from the Democratic Party, then the most loyal voter base Black America, specifically ADOS, should get specific agenda. No black agenda, no black vote. This year's election, we should all be voting down ballot. Thank you for watching today's video. For more information, visit ADOS Indy on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, ADOSIndy.com, and ADOS101.com.